Hi, this is JC Pohl with Teen Truth, author of Building School Culture from the Inside Out and the creator of the Student Ownership Map. And in today's screencast, I wanted to focus on your people. How do we get your people on your campus living in good old-fashioned face-to-face relationships? Well, I've been on a lot of campuses over the last 10 to 12 years, and I tell you, the campuses where people are living in true relationship always have a vibrant school culture. So how do we build great relationships? What are some of the things that we can do on campus to really make this happen? Well, the first thing I believe and that I've seen on the road is that it starts with you. If you want to have great relationships on campus, if you want students and staff to be living in relationship with one another, you need to be intentional about the way that you create relationships on campus. That means out of your classroom or out of your office, shaking hands, giving high fives, scheduling time in your calendar to go out and meet with people and be seen in your community. And what happens when you do that is you are basically modeling, okay? You're modeling for your students and your staff how to build relationships basically and how to enjoy being face-to-face with people. And by doing that, you will inspire them to basically do the same. So that's kind of the first step in building great relationships on campus. The second step that I feel is extremely important is with regards to your staff. You may or may not know my background. I'm a marriage and family therapist as well as the CEO here at Teen Truth. And one of the things that I've found in my marriage and family therapy is that it's very important for me to get my clients focused on meeting the relational needs of each other. So when I have a couple in therapy or maybe a family that's in crisis in therapy, what I've seen just work the best, like cut right through all the junk, is getting them to be a little vulnerable and express their relational needs. Like, what is it that you need right now? Do you need appreciation? Do you need acceptance? Do you need approval? Do you need encouragement? Do you need support? Once I can get them to verbalize that and we can put a word to it, well, then the other spouse or the other people in the family can help to work to serve that need, right? If you need encouragement, well, we can go out of our way to encourage you when you need encouragement. And what I've found in this dynamic in the counseling room is that when we start serving the needs of each other, it creates this very beautiful cycle where a lot of our problems start to go away because we end up living kind of this servant style relationship where we're serving each other's needs and expressing each other's needs and being vulnerable with each other. And I think the same is true with your staff. And I've seen that a lot when I'm on campus doing relational needs trainings with staffs, is that a lot of times teachers get kind of caught off on their own. My dad was a sixth grade teacher for many years, like 35 years, and he spent probably 20 of those years in the exact same classroom. And so teachers sometimes get siloed off and disconnected from others on campus. So it's important for you as a leader on campus to build opportunities for these teachers to build relationships, right? To either have a relational needs workshop, to do some sort of retreat, to do a chili cook-off, to do a nacho Friday, or have lunch together, whatever it might be, to allow them to build relationships. And the last thing, and I think the most critical component to building relationships on campus and building school culture through relationships is peer-to-peer programs, okay? The schools that I visit that have great peer-to-peer programs have a depth of student leadership that is unparalleled on the campuses that don't have it. Okay, so schools that have great either like link crew and orientation programs, schools that have amazing student council and student leadership programs, or even schools that have other peer-to-peer curriculum on campus like peer mediation or peer leadership programs, all just have much vibrant cultures. So I wanted to dig into that a little bit with you here in this screencast. What is it about peer-to-peer programs that are so important? Well, I was fortunate during my time at Texas State when I was in grad school to meet Dr. Michael Karcher. He's a professor down at UT San Antonio, and Dr. Karcher has done a ton of research on peer-to-peer based programs. And a few of the things that he's found in your research are, really important for me to communicate to you right now. Basically, what Dr. Karcher found in his research is that students who are involved in peer-to-peer based programs go on to better, school-based outcomes, more positive school-based outcomes. They have a better school experience. Additionally, they have a better acquisition of knowledge, attitude, and skills. So they learn more, they feel better about school, and they learn these life skills that are so important when it comes to building school culture or creating resilient students. And then, of course, the most important one that Dr. Karcher found that really ties into school culture and this idea of relationships that we're talking about is that students who are in peer-to-peer programs are better connected to their school, their peers, and themselves. And so that speaks volumes, if you ask me. Okay, that means that students who are involved in a peer-to-peer program are better connected versus the students that are not. So it's very important for us to create peer-to-peer opportunities on campus, because if we want to build a vibrant school culture, we need kids to be connected. When they're connected, they score better on tests, they get better grades, they show up to school more, all boats rise, when they're connected. Now, we've seen this to be true in our peer-to-peer program at Teen Truth. We developed a program called the Rising Up Coaching Program. And at Teen Truth, we wanted to help school counselors, basically. Since I'm a counselor, and every campus I visit, the counselors are always spread so thin. The ratios, are out of whack. In a lot of schools that we visit, it's like 600 kids to one counselor or 800 kids to one counselor. And there's just no way that they can do a lot of counseling work anymore because they're spread so thin. So we developed the Rising Up Coaching Program, where we basically train a group of coaches to go into classrooms and teach guidance lessons for counselors. So we, train a group of 8th graders, like you see there in the top right-hand corner. That's a group of 8th graders. They go into 6th grade classrooms, or the girl right here on the left, she's a junior at a high school going into freshman classrooms. And what we found in doing this is two things have happened. Is one, the younger students love it. Okay, the freshmen or the 6th graders, they really look forward to having these older students in their classroom. And I think it really helps build that school culture when they're out on campus, because if they have a question or they see one of their coaches in the hallway, again, now we've built some relationships across campus. The other thing that we've seen that's been very interesting in our program is that the students that we make a coach, that we train to be coaches, we usually ask our clients to bring us kind of those middle level students, like C+, B- students, good kids, but not really in leadership positions right now. And what we found is that by making them a coach and putting them in this leadership role and sending them into classrooms to teach guidance lessons, is that they step into the role. We have seen behavior issues in our coaching staff go down and academic performance go up. And when we've asked them on exit interviews, they've said basically because they learned how hard it is to teach, and they, really enjoyed being a leader on campus. They felt like they had a voice. And so peer-to-peer programming is pretty amazing. I mean, we've basically seen in our program, we've seen Dr. Karcher's research come true. Like exactly what he said would happen is happening in our programs, whether we're training students or sometimes, like you see in the picture below, we're training staff members. We can train staff to go back and basically implement the program on campus. So what are the keys to success if we really want to get people connected on campus? Well, let's just kind of summarize here. Like I said, setting reminders for yourself, whether it's setting a sticky note on your computer, a reminder on your calendar, a pop-up on your phone, for you to be intentional about going out and forming relationships on campus and modeling that for your students and your staff. The other thing that we need to do is focus on social and emotional needs, okay? So many of your students are dealing with so many things. So if we're going to bring a peer-to-peer program on campus and we want to develop great relationships, remember what I said about the power of vulnerability. We want a program that's going to focus on social and emotional needs so we can kind of build that connection and get those kids, serving each other and mentoring each other and, having fun learning together, basically. If we want to have a successful peer-to-peer program, we've found this to be very important in our program, is we need admin and teacher buy-in. We cannot run a curriculum like ours or, many of the other peer-to-peer curriculums that are out there. We cannot run these curriculum if we don't have administrators buy-in. Okay, if they're not supportive, if they're not giving us the time and the schedule, if they're not making it a priority, it's not gonna work. And same with teachers. It's like we're going into their classrooms. This is not a time to check email. It's not a time to check social media. This is a time when we're bringing 8th graders into your classroom to teach 6th graders, or we're bringing juniors in to teach freshmen. And, we need your support. We need you to be actively engaged. We need your buy-in. And ultimately, when it comes down to forming great relationships on campus and great peer-to-peer programming, we need to empower student voice. Like, let's not do for students what they can do for themselves. Let's put them in the place to build school culture from the inside out. And that's why I named the book Building School Culture from the Inside Out, because I really think that if we have strong messaging, strong activities, strong people on campus, that your students will take ownership of your school culture, and you won't have to do it all by yourself, right? You'll have their help. So if there's anything that we can do to help you, whether you want to develop your own peer-to-peer program, or you're interested in maybe bringing us in to do the Rising Up coaching program, or maybe working with your staff, you can email me at jc@teentruth.net. You can call our office. I'm happy to jump on the phone with you. And then, of course, you can always find more information at teentruth.net or out on social media. It's our hope that this training today, this screencast, really maybe got you thinking a little differently about how to form relationships and some of the programs that you can put in place to really drive that school culture from the inside out. We believe at Teen Truth that we're better together, and we're here to support you in any way that we can. So thanks so much for stopping by today. You have a great day.